Depending on where you live or how you live, basements can be cold, dark, and rarely visited places. Perhaps a place where you store your disused items, or even a place where you dare not visit. While some basements are too spooky for day-to-day life, their creepiness does make for some great horror movies, from The Silence of the Lambs to Don't Breathe. However, that's just fiction, right? Well, not always. Some unfortunate souls have encountered many dark things when exploring their basements. So today on Top 5 Scary Videos, I'm going to be counting down our list of the top 5 scary things found in people's basements. Before we begin though, be sure to stick around until the end of the video where I'll be responding to some of your comments. And with that, let's jump in. Coming in at number 5, Duffle Bag. One of the many stories hailing from Reddit, this user tells of the time they were sharing a house with some friends, and on one particular night they decided to explore the basement. As you do, considering they hadn't been down there since they had moved in. The user describes a small dirt crawl space in the basement, so one of the men decided to grab a flashlight and check it out. However, soon after the man yelled out after discovering something quite concerning. He emerged carrying a duffel bag, which contained items that would send chills down most sane people's spines. But not mine, never mind, I don't understand the concept of fear. It's called being a sociopath. Anyway, the bag contained a hunting knife, 2 black ski masks, and 1 single black leather glove. Very O.J. Simpson. The group called the police immediately, but for some strange reason they couldn't do anything with the evidence, so the group decided to burn everything except for the hunting knife, which the user states that he still possesses. If it were me, I would have burned that as well. You never know who may return one day looking for that knife. Coming in at number 4, Pet Gator. A Michigan reptile expert has some advice for you animal lovers out there. Do not get a pet alligator. Period. Because it will get bigger, and when it does, it will bite you and try to eat you. According to reports, a man in Michigan owned an illegal pet alligator which he kept in the basement of his home. Yes, you heard me correctly, the basement of his home. The gator was apparently kept in a cage away from the outside world and even far away from light. Worse still, the man stated that he would often let the gator out into the backyard to play, I guess? I don't know. Thankfully though, the gator was taken off his hands when a mechanic who was fixing something in the basement took pictures of the illegal pet and called animal control. The gator was thus released back into the wild, with the man being charged for owning an illegal pet. However, this wasn't the only case of a person owning a gator, which is baffling to me. According to reports, pet gators are on the rise in Michigan specifically, with at least 6 of the scaly creatures being spotted on the loose, popping up in lakes, parks, and backyards. On one occasion, a man was seen lassoing the neighbor's pet gator when they found it tromping across their yard after it made an escape. The owner of the gator, named Puff, took it back home before stating, "It's hard for people to understand. People judging me don't know about alligators. They make good pets." Sure, Jan. Coming in at number 3, Secret Bunker. So this point should be prefaced by saying, whenever a homeowner passes away, real estate agents sell the house as is, with all the contents still inside, for the most part, which to me is absolutely horrific. And on one particular occasion, this happened. However, the new homeowner was thrilled to receive some new goods and furniture and headed to the basement to survey the rest of his loot. However, when he got to the bottom of the stairs, he found an odd sheet of plywood attached to the wall. He went to remove it, but discovered something truly harrowing: an entrance to a secret room. The room was just 4 by 4 feet, but it was filled with the unthinkable. It contained several gun cases and manuals, a giant safe, an assortment of ammo, and a hollowed out grenade. The man also discovered a chest containing money, but sadly it was just pennies, but beggars can't be choosers. Now, whether it was a doomsday bunker or something much darker, we will never know. But what do you guys think? Coming in at number 2, A Stranger. Now this one is just downright terrifying. One ordinary day, a group of college students who had been living in the house for some time discovered something oddly suspicious. The group discovered a secret room that was quite clearly being lived in. Now the entire house was being shared by 15 people, so it was difficult to keep up with everyone in the house, with most of the boys just assuming that the locked basement room was a maintenance closet that the landlord wanted to keep closed. However, when maintenance workers knocked on the door down there, they discovered a bedroom complete with framed photographs and textbooks. Creepier still, during the summer, one of the students walked into the basement and encountered a man who said he had wondered when he was going to meet the new residents of the house. What? And when asked if he lived on the first floor, the man skirted around the question. The group of students had the locks changed that night and posted a note asking their uninvited house guest to call them, which surprisingly he did. A man named Jeremy ended up contacting the students before moving his belongings out of the room. It actually turned out that Jeremy's cousin had lived in the house the year prior, which is how he got in, according to the housemates. The locks had never been changed. Rookie mistake. Talk about a dangerous situation. Thankfully, it wasn't a lot worse.
I'd been telling everybody this story about the ghost in our house, coming and opening all our cupboards and the oven and the microwave and all this stuff.
And finally, coming in at number 1, we have doll family. In my opinion, there is nothing creepier than a doll. Actually, sorry, I'm wrong. There is nothing creepier than a cluster of dolls. That's right, cluster. Let's say a family of dolls living beneath your house without you ever knowing. Yeah, sounds terrifying, right? Well, one Reddit user stumbled across one thing no one would ever want to see: a family of dolls in a basement, seemingly behind bars. A restaurant in Phoenix was home to this horrific basement scene, with the person who discovered it descending down a long spiral staircase that led directly to the basement. And of course, he would regret his decision immediately. The image itself shows a line of dolls sitting along a wall at a makeshift table, as if they were about to eat dinner. However, upon further observation, you can clearly see that it is less of a dinner and more of a Last Supper, with the doll in the middle looking strangely human and clearly depicting Jesus. It doesn't stop there though. There are also coins spread out across the table, with the scene surely haunting the man to this day. However, like all terrifying things, this was not the only encounter with creepy dolls. This old lady doll was discovered in the basement of an estate sale. It's incredibly frightening to look at, and worse still, the doll has the body of an old woman, something you typically don't see on any doll ever. Not to mention the expression on the doll's face is one of anguish, preventing you from looking at the picture for longer than a couple of seconds. Unless you're me, I stared at it for hours. I'm still looking at it now. The Reddit user who discovered the doll stated that there was a name carved into the back of the doll's neck, suggesting it was the previous owner. Worse still, the doll was discovered in a black box, tightly secured, suggesting someone didn't want it to be opened. Well, there we have it. Do you guys agree with our list? Were there any creepy basement stories that we missed? Leave us all your thoughts and feelings in the comments down below, and perhaps we can do a part 2. Before I go though, I just want to respond to a few comments from one of our last videos. Top 5 scary horror movies that are haunted. Stephen Bellchambers said The Exorcist was haunted by its horrible, horrible sequels. Well, aren't you a savage, Stephen? But you are not wrong. The sequels to The Exorcist are absolutely horrific. So let's just move on. Arno Coatsy said Lucy McPhee is now officially a mythical creature that is powered by fear. I'm now officially one? I thought I was always a mythical creature powered by fear. If you didn't always fear me, please leave. Thank you. Victor Valdez said, you're always staring into our souls. I'm sorry, you must be very bored looking at mine. I'm always very bored. It takes a lot to entertain me. And yes, I am bored staring into your soul. But you say it like I'm looking, and I'm not. Kevin Kroger said, why did I watch this while eating breakfast? Worst decision ever. I love to watch anything horror related while I eat my morning cereal, so that's just me. Red Comrade of Steel 1974 said, Lucy McPhee, The Conjuring and Insidious are my favourite horror movies. Would you like to watch these movies with me, lol? No, I would not. And I think maybe you should look into getting a better taste in horror movies, perhaps? Not saying they're bad, but for them to be a favourite, I'm a little concerned about you. Just kidding, I'll watch a movie with you from afar. Like from across the country. That's all I'm saying. And on that note, if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another scary vid. And until next time, see you later.